Good morning. It's me. I am on here for a minute. I'm going to do a video one this morning because there's going to be two parts of this, and I've got a new tripod, and I didn't want to screw up on live with my new tripod, so I'm trying it out today. Hope y'all are having a great day on this Labor Day. What I'm going to do real quickly is that I'm going to get rid of some stuff that must go. Matter of fact, that means must go. It's getting a little old. We need to get rid of it. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm preparing a meal for this evening for Labor Day. We're going to have steaks, and I'm going to also show you how I pre-prepare my steak for the big event. So the first thing I'm doing, I found some carrots that needed to go. I got 2 or 3 bags, and these are beginning to get that little texture I don't like, that little rubbery texture. I've already done a few for time purposes. I'm going to take my handy dandy vegetable peeler. Every kitchen ought to have one, I'm telling you. Have it. If you want to use the paring knife and do that, that's fine with me, but I'm going to use the vegetable peeler. And it just goes real quickly. Look at this. You can't beat it. I mean, the paring knife would take me twice as long. So I got this nice, already done. I'm going to cut the ends off. I'm using a pan to put my scraps in, and then I'll put it in the animal container, give to the animals. Cut that off, and here it is. So see how quickly that goes with this? So if you're going to a wedding shower or anything, stick one of these vegetable peelers in their bag. They'll sure appreciate it. Real quickly, I'm doing another one. And this is what I'm doing, getting rid of these. Carrots tend to get a little dried out and rubbery, and I had some of these in my refrigerator, and today's must go, and I'll just make a side dish for my steak, along with maybe some type of potato. I haven't decided yet. So I've already, that quick, just by watching with this handy dandy vegetable peeler, got my carrots going. I'm going to cut the ends off of those real quick. Then I'm going to rinse them off like this. I'm going to run over here to the sink and rinse those off quickly. Just give them a little bit of a rinse. They don't need much. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half, like so. And I'm going to put them in this little casserole dish of mine, because I'm going to bake those like you were baking them in a roast. That's how I'm going to do these. And I will show you in just a moment. So here's my casserole dish. I'm going to show you the outcome. I just took a little casserole dish, cut them in half, and there they are. I'm going to simply add a little water. I'm going to go about a half a cup, pour them over the carrots, and then what I'm going to do, I think I got this at Big Lots, I think. No, everything for $1.25. It used to be everything for $1. Now it's at everything for $1.25. Pick some of this up. It's chicken seasoning. Look how big that comes in. That's awesome, and it's really good. So I've opened the corner of it just like this. I'm just going to do a little bit, not a lot. Just sprinkle a little bit into my water, just a little. We're going to do the handy dandy salt. I'm going to just do a little bit of salt too. I can flavor them more after they're done. That's it. I'm going to take this and just kind of swish the chicken seasoning all through the water a little bit. Now there's a couple of these are a little bit big, so I may go ahead and cut those in half. Why? Because they won't get done. It'll take them longer to get done. So if you got a big one, try to keep them as even as possible. Cut them in half. So some aren't hard and some are so soft you melts in your mouth. I like my carrots tender. So this is it. That's ready to go. So what I'm going to do with this, these are awesome, okay? You can get them at the Dollar General, and they come out in a sheet. They're not heavy duty, but I don't need a heavy duty one. But they are so good. I'm addicted to them. I just love them. And that's a pretty nice size. Or if you want, you can foil your hair with them. I don't care, but I like to use them for this. I'm simply going to cover my dish. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start cooking these, even though it's a little bit early, because it's not going to hurt them. I can just put the oven on low and reheat them later. But it does take a while for carrots to cook. So I'm going to turn my oven on. I'm going to put it on about 325. I'm not in a rush for them. I got plenty of time. And we're going to stick these in the oven. And my side dish is going to be ready by this evening. Got that in the oven. Carrots are so healthy, and I know, yeah, you're supposed to eat the skin of them, but I don't, and I'm sure a lot of you don't. I'm sure I'm not the only one that doesn't do that. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do, I had some, don't laugh at me, but I had some little pieces of onion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dice these onions. I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm not chopping. Big choppies, I'm dicing. But I'm not going to really dice them fine. Not as fine as what I normally would. But I'm getting rid of this stuff. There's no sense in throwing that away when it's still good. I just made them kind of a big dice. How's that? A medium chunk. Stick them in my little dish here. Got one more here. I'm going to slightly cut. Then I got some pieces of bell pepper that I've kept that needs to go because they get kind of old and rubbery too. And I'm going to just make little thin julienne strips. And a julienne strip is just this. They're long. I'm going to cut them thin, okay? I'm going to put them right in there with my onions. Because there's no sense if it's still good and can be used, and I can use these this evening. So I just made some juliennes out of my peppers. I'm going to put them right over here in my little dish. Got one more I'm going to do real quickly. I mean, food is just so expensive. I mean, I'm not a thrifty where I'm going to just kill myself trying to save a little tiny piece of something, but I'm not going to throw it away either if it's still good and I can use it. Julienne means long strips, and I made them fairly thin, just like that. And what I've ended up, I'm going to put these in here. So I got my onions that most people probably would have threw away. I went ahead and kept because they were still good. They weren't, and I got a few little green peppers. And I'm actually going to julienne some more green peppers up. What I'm going to use these for this evening when I do my steaks, after I get my steaks done, I'm going to throw these onions and peppers into that good yummy stuff the steak leaves behind. I'm going to just kind of get them caramelized, and then we can put them on top of our steak if we want. Won't they be good? So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I do with little leftover stuff. I had some leftover stuff I didn't really want to throw away, and I was like, I'm going to just prepare them for tonight's meal. Now, I'm going to go ahead, because I'm going to use garlic tonight in preparing my steak, and I'm going to go ahead and do a couple garlics. I got something I have to do this afternoon maybe, and I want to get this stuff done. So I got my 2 garlics. I'm going to take my handy dandy meat tenderizer. See this? And I'm just going to hit that garlic just like that. Then I'm going to press down on it. The same with this one. I'm going to use a couple of garlics. Press down. Get rid of the skin of it. It'll peel off. It's kind of like an onion skin. See? This is my garlic. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and chop my garlic up. Another piece of skin. I'm going to dice it pretty little. And I'm going to be putting this directly into my hot iron skillet when I get ready to do my steaks with lots of butter, and let all that cook together, and it's going to be delicious. So I've took this and I've actually cut this garlic up diced it fairly thin. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my dish. Now I'll just cover all this stuff up, And then I'll be ready for tonight. I won't have all this. So I got my garlic in one dish, my onions and my peppers, and I'll probably add actually more onions to this too, but I just got rid of my must-go stuff, okay? But I'll probably go ahead and add some more onions to this too. So I got rid of some of my must-go stuff, and I got my garlic ready. Now I'm going to tell you how I'm going to prepare my steaks for tonight. Now this is Karen's way of doing it, okay? So my oven just went off on my carrots, and I'm going to have a sip of coffee too, because it's still fairly early for me, and I love coffee. I don't know about you guys. I love the warmth of it. I don't know. It just makes me feel good when I drink it. Yum. Have a cup. It's so good. I've got 2 ribeye steaks here. Aren't they beautiful? See all that fat, that caramel fat through these? They are just beautiful, aren't they? Here's another one. Don't they already look good? All right, so what I'm going to do to get my steaks ready for tonight, and I just wanted to, some of you may do this already, I don't know, but I do, and I find out it works great. You can use the meat tenderizer you buy at the store if you want. I don't, because in our kitchen, we have a natural meat tenderizer, and it is called, I'm washing my hands just a dot, I don't want to touch that steak, and I don't want it on my salt. It's called the Salt. Salt is a natural tenderizer. So if you want to buy that meat tenderizer, go right ahead. But you don't have to. You got it right in your own kitchen. So I'm going to prepare these. It is now around 20 to 11. I won't be eating these until this evening. But I'm going to prepare them and get them ready. So I'm going to just take my salt shaker, and I'm going to salt both sides of them. And I don't need a lot. Just salt enough like you're getting ready to cook. The same side, I'm going to do just like this. Oh, that fat is going to be just so yummy. Look at that. And I'm going to put these, don't laugh at me at all, but I'm going to use my handy dandy ice cream container. I use it for everything, and I also use it for this. I'm going to put my steak back in my ice cream container. And here's the other one. Look how thick that looks. That is going to be delicious. Take your natural tenderizer called the Salt. Put it right on the top. Turn it over. We're going to do the same. Now I'm going to put my steaks in my handy dandy bucket here. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator. I'm not going to necessarily cover them. They don't really need cover. But I'm going to let them sit in this salt until I'm ready to cook them. And that will make your steaks so tender. Matter of fact, any meat, pork, anything you have, even chicken, if you will salt it ahead of time and put it in the refrigerator, and when you're ready to cook it, rinse it off a little slightly, just slightly, and then go ahead and do your seasoning on top of that, because remember, you've already got salt on this, so you need to rinse it off just slightly before you get ready to prepare this. So I've got my steak, simply get it tenderizing with good old natural tenderizing salt. Now, real quickly, we're going to have dessert tonight too. I've got an easy dessert I came up with, very easy peasy. I like to wash my hands and wipe them off. Hope you guys are having a great day. I think of myself, okay, it's Labor Day. I just wonder how many young people really know what Labor Day is all about. It makes me wonder, don't you? Us, because there's so many people out there that by choice or maybe not by choice don't have a job. There's many jobs out there. I mean, when McDonald's is hiring at $14 an hour, Lordy, well, if I would have been a kid, $14 an hour at McDonald's, wow. I mean, wow. But anyway, it just makes me wonder if they even know what Labor Day is all about, you know. Anyway, I made yesterday, just from Dunkin' Cake Mix, some little cupcakes. And I put a little frosting on them, but not much. And we're going to talk about my easy way of doing frostings one day, but today's not it. So what I'm going to do, I also, those strawberries that someone came and gave to me, I worked up yesterday, and I put them in freezer bags, and I rolled the freezer bag up, and I got all the air out, tightened them, so I got strawberries in the freezer for later on. But I went ahead and worked a few up. So what our dessert's going to be, I'm going to use these as strawberry shortcakes. That's the reason I didn't put a lot of frosting on these. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put this in my little dessert dish. And I made a few little strawberries up, which is simply cut up strawberries with sugar. You put them on there and you let them sit, and the sugar draws all that juice out, and you end up with a delicious dessert. I'm going to just take a few of my strawberries then, and I will top this like so. Put a little juice on there too, right around here. This is going to be our simple little dessert. So I've made a little cupcake, and I'm using that as my strawberry shortcake. I took some strawberries I worked up, put them on top. You can use Cool Whip if you want. I don't care, whatever you prefer. We like the Ready Whip, or it doesn't matter. We just like the real cream in a can that you shake up. Boy, Serenity does too. We have lattes, don't we, Serenity? When she's here, we get our coffee out and we make Starbucks lattes. So I've got my cupcake, my little bit of strawberries, and I'm just going to simply really just enough to make it pretty. And this will be our dessert for tonight. I think it'll be good. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. So I got my carrots that was getting a little bad. I worked up. That's going to be our side dish. I've got them in the oven. They're going to be cooking for a while. They'll get tendered up, and as they cook, the water will actually start evaporating, I guess, or condensing, and they'll get the carrots to start getting tender, and we'll end up putting some more seasoning on those and put some really good butter on top of them, and they're going to turn out to be really good. I've got my dessert thawed out of. Made a little cupcake. Got my strawberries and a little bit of whipped cream. My strawberry shortcake. And I showed you how to prepare that steak that I'm going to do. It's called an iron skillet steak. And I do mine different. I put my iron skillet, which is my very best friend, and it should be everybody's best friend in the kitchen. I use this probably, I'm going to say 70% of the time on all my cooking on top of the stove, as far as frying meats and that sort of thing, frying potatoes. You can actually do everything in this. You can bake cookies, bake a cake, fry potatoes, make tacos. You can boil beans in this. You can actually, if you had a big top to go on this, or a lid, you could pop popcorn in this. I've seen it done. So there's nothing this pan can't do that I can think of. So I could have did my carrots in the oven in these. But anyway, I've got it prepared. What I did was take a little bit of oil. I do this frequently, and I'll take my little oil and I'll swish it all over my iron skillet like this. And what I'm going to do is put this in the oven, and I'm going to put it on 500, and I'm going to leave it in there for about 30 minutes before it ever touches my steaks. And I might come back live to show you how to do that steak. It's easy, it's peasy, yummy, yummy. And I've already got my meal. All I got to do is figure out a potato. Probably going to be a no-brainer. That's probably going to be a baked potato. So anyway, I'm trying out my new iPad. I hope you guys enjoy the video. See you back later.